And first of all, I would ask Shani, how did you bring the city hall into your project? How did you bring the city hall into your project?
Unlike Israel, actually I had the good luck, and we were talking this morning today about the good chances and opportunities, that I was invited by the City Hall for this project. There was, I was talking about initiatives of the Department of Education of Netanya, and I was lucky she had an idea of something, how children will learn about the city, but she didn't really think all the time about crossing the border of getting out of school, out of learning in the city. But there was a really good opportunity with some manager of the Department of Education, that she had a vision, and it's rare, and she's really a really brave woman. That's why I put her picture at the beginning.
And for the future, now you are thinking to approach other city halls? Or?
Yes, yes. I think as people can see good examples for things that happened, and they don't have to imagine anymore. They can see how does it work, and they can approach others to get some recommendations.
And she will also help you?
Yes, actually she was a really good partner, and I think the idea in what is special in this project, it's like developing an ongoing process, and she's really part of it, and we are lucky. And I don't know, in your education departments, if there are people that have good, they're creative people, even though if they understand nothing about the city, they understand about education, and their creativity can be part of this process, even though they know nothing about the city. And I was lucky to have her part of the team.
The second question is for Magdalena and Kasia. What are the benefits of collaboration, and how can we establish flexible connections for the inclusion of architecture in education? So what are the benefits of collaboration?
I think it's not possible to work without collaborations. Yes, and
how do you convince them to collaborate with you?
At the beginning, it was difficult when we started 14 years ago. But during the years, many institutions like museums or different organizations, they start to ask me to help them in during different events to adjust the program, to make a program, to create the content for their institution. So at the beginning it was difficult. I have to convince them and to explain them what are the benefits, and to explain them that it's really easy to reach adults, parents through their children, and it's easy to invite them through children to participate. And but now I think it's easier, because for the last years they started to know about me, and it's not necessary for me to convince them.
And I think the question is interesting, because I represent the public institutions, so you are NGOs. so there is the opposite side, because a lot of people like Magdalena call me or us to collaborate. So I think it's very important to have a support from the public institution. And collaboration, of course, is the most important, and education doesn't exist with collaboration, but I think it's important, the public institution, even it's a goal or task to collaborate in the fields of the architecture.
So you help us to see that also the institutions saw the importance. They are aware of the importance.
We are Institute of Architecture and Urban Planning. So, but even like a Ministry of Culture, so maybe not institution focus on architecture, but in the wider context should, I think, collaborate and I think support. Not only like an expert, but I think about the money, and it's important.
Yes. Vera îmi face semne. Da, am înțeles in the end. Dacă aveți întrebări pentru cele două doamne.
So this question was brought by your presentation, Heba, actually, because you mentioned you had this word of consumerism and also how to convince children with stories and riddles. And I was thinking about this also in my personal life, because I have a kid. How do we make sustainability fun and cool for kids when the message that we are receiving, because we do live in a capitalist, consumerist-based society, is you need more, you need, you know, especially to kids who are like natural-born collectors and they like to collect all sorts of things. So how do we sort of convince young people that that sustainability is cool, is fun, and is something that they should be doing, instead of buying into what they are being like told by everybody else?
To start with the home and the family and the grandparents and the memories of the interesting recipes, that the taste that they miss from the village, or the clothes that they will recycle from the elder brothers or sisters, or how to change the plastic bottles and make them pen holders, or and the fun that goes with it, and the activities that bring all the family to the table or to the play fun game. Getting connections with artists of pop culture to create stories about, for example, the shade puppets or the finger puppets or so, that remind them of older songs or older dictums or older sayings, and you get the kids emotionally involved, and then the word of mouth together with their families, and going back home and asking, what was this district like? What was the famous bakery? What did it do? What was the recipe? Do you have old photos of the street before it was transformed into a bridge? Or so tackling the emotional part of the game is key. And then it's the activities that are awarded or acknowledged until we reach the design build stage. For example, when we go on a field trip to something that is related to the history or related to the vernacular, and it's very hot, a very hot day, and then when we go inside and we feel how it's cool, how it's isolated from the noise, and then we have a story and we have a role playing. So you are the whoever that lived 50 years ago, and you are the designer, and create questions for your client and create solutions. In addition to the fact that the workshops or the courses are several days, and then we meet the next month or the month after, and we follow up with, what did you plant? We have like a group, and post photos of your plant growing. What did your cat do when she smelled the repellent plant, and so on. So it's a lifestyle and the mindset, rather than an enforced curriculum.
I have a question that comes from the observation that in this panel, it has been tackled what in the morning was somehow floating maybe. Like that there is this distinction between education for built environment or education through the built environment. And this panel tackles the final goal of education through the built environment, which is for sustainable development. And in this frame, I wonder if within the collaborations that you engage with, do you find that your partners also bring content that you need in order that you, as architecture practitioners, pedagogues, also complement what you don't know about democratic values, about development, about other goals that you want to reach, but you need collaborators to help you complement that?
I would like to ask Suzanne.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Thank you. I think it was really interesting for me knowing how our struggle in Australia is to educate people about the value of architecture, what it means, where we've got a very builder-led, discovering cultural identity and so forth. I think after going to the UIA Malaysia convention, I came back from that really inspired because I've learnt through, because I set up in my youth when I was at university, set up the Architecture Association for Australia and brought together the 40 schools of architecture back then, and the need for collaboration and learning through that, the diverse need for partnerships and not reinventing the wheel. So coming back from Malaysia was like I started looking at what was existing tools to move forward, and that's when I found the Australian Museum, what they've done, and I went down and met with them, and we're talking about a development and adding to that to help me with the mission of creating what these ladies have done for Australia. So it's so important about the networking, the collaboration, the sharing of ideas, but working with existing tools and not handing over energy and wasting energy and trying to create something new. It's so important, the collaboration, and I think that's how we have to work. And I think with the youth, it's just that, yeah, the scaremongering tactics that media puts on that youth and the importance of connecting back to stories of cultural importance in food and just memory and the oral storytelling is so important.